a revolution has taken place. And I think Wakil Ndego can tell you, it will take place without anybody who makes the wrong move. And they owe to that person who is going to make the wrong move. And I can tell you, if you really listen to the real ground still wants us to have a transition in 2027, no matter what other persons want to say. So me, I'm just guiding Kenyans. Let us talk less about tribalism. Let's talk about what are the policies we want to put across. Kenya really wants change. And I realize Kenyan diapers is like that diapers of a baby. When a baby is in white diapers, the baby pushes for change. And Kenya has reached there. And I can assure you that will take place. Maybe for me, this tribal discussion does not make sense because of my upbringing. I was brought up with a Meru mother in Dam Estate here in Langata after my parents passed away. I have a family in Meru. They even made me have internship and got my job in housing finance. I then, of course, education abroad here and there, but also being a Kenyan. I have worked with many people from different communities, just not from Kenya. When I was a little missionary, we used to see Kenyans competing with Zambia, competing with, in class, we used to compete with the Philippines in class. Who is the best student in class? Who is the best beating Asian? So I think tribalism is a loose thing. And if you want to know how tribalism is useless, go abroad. When you're in the US, when you hear Kenyan is in this city, hata kama ni Mkikuyu, hata unakimbia unamsalimia unasema, Mkenya ako hapa, Kiswahili ndio watu wanaongea. I want to tell us that with the diaspora mindset I've seen on my living overseas, but also when I visited this time, Kenyans really want to come together. And our issues are very much the same. They are not divisive. We don't have 47 issues like we have 46 tribes. We have just 4 or 5 issues, which all of them affect everybody. And I want to rally behind that. And I want to ask guys like Debal in the media, let us bring positive issues about we can overcome tribalism, we can overcome corruption, we can unite together. And I want to invite you again to LDP, because LDP is run like a corporate. You find the chair is, I don't even know the tribes of those people. I am a member there. I am going to contest for president in that party. It is a party that you cannot figure out which kind of country it comes from because of the formation. And I think it's a party with identity and ideology. Let us be ideological. Let us disagree or agree on that, but not on principle. Because you see me fighting Dr. Nyekal. Dr. Nyekal actually is a friend of my brother who is a priest in Seme. Dr. Nyekal, Barakorab, Father Paul is my brother, who is your friend. But I'm sure Father Paul will forgive me if we fight here. But ideologically, I see you ideological. I am. This country really needs alternative leadership because we say Ruto has been lying. Then the people have been saying they're truthful men. Again, they start doing more or less the same thing. Whether they are lying or not, it's typical. People come and say, that's exactly what I didn't say. I think that these things of counting numbers, even if tribal are the numbers like Professor Naitile says, which I agree with, that tribal numbers are still remaining there. But you see, now we are talking about children who listen. We are talking about young people who don't need to buy and inherit that kind of culture. As a leader, even if you know those are the things, you better present them with decorum because you are trying to entrench. And for us, we are trying to cure tribalism. And as a leader of the state of Gachagua, as a deputy president, we expected him, even if you want to save them in a way that even some people don't buy this thing. Yeah, what about my son who is 8 years old hearing that that Nairobi belong to the Kikuyu and the Kamba? How about my other people when I go to Coast Province tomorrow, where I'm going tomorrow? Who believes that now, where are we when Nairobi belongs to 2 people? And now, what will Mombasa belong to? What does Kisumu belong to? So I'm trying to say this language was not good in the first case. Even if you want to say it, you should say it in the boardroom. There's nothing of saying it in public. In Swahili from Moi, because whenever Moi said, we used to think that's correct English. The president is speaking. The president is the best in English, is the best in Swahili. Remember, there are people who are vulnerable who cannot digest this information the way we are digesting it. Some people are very vulnerable. So to protect those who are vulnerable, our language should be well measured. We should just say Kenya is not made of tribes. Kenya is made of just categories of politicians, which has nothing to do with their tribe. There are some Kikuyu who are very decent, cannot say anything Gachagua says. And there are some Luos also who are. And there are some Kalenjins also are very level-headed. And that's what we need to go into that direction. The other thing I want to say about these things, about arranging who is what, who is that, I think if Kalonzo Musyoka really want to lead Kenya, he needs to come out much stronger and make his voice be heard. He should not be look like even after that, Kalonzo is quiet. It is Gachagua explaining on his behalf. And the explanation was still just horrible as the first statement, if you hear me. They were not different. In fact, he says, I didn't say this, but I said this. What he said was even worse than what he said earlier. So, according to me, Gachagua's mouth is his strength. And St. Paul says, when you are strong, again, you are weak. So the strength of your mouth can actually become your weakness. And I think that they should be in a position to come back with a very clear communication strategy around how they're communicating. I heard that Mr. Kitui was put as the spokesperson, but it looks like Gachagua is the spokesperson for the opposition anyway. So the opposition should come quickly and set up a structure if they want to finish things. And then my last point is, the things which are disturbing Kenya, Gachagua is not addressing them. Like, issues of who will be taking what, Nairobi governor. Kenya is in a crisis now about corruption. And William Ruto is going to leave us with a debt that you cannot even know where to begin. And there are some immediate issues that I would be more concerned about opposition addressing than addressing how they want to take power. Because politics is different from governance. And for us at LDP, we are focusing on building prototypes, not even manifestos, prototypes on how to solve debt, prototypes on how to sort out healthcare, given what SHA is doing, prototypes for education, prototypes for youth unemployment, prototypes for social protection, prototypes for national security. I think prototypes are much better than focusing on these type of statements. The person who ruled Kenya, or if you like, be given mandate to govern Kenya, will focus on solving the Kenyan problem, which is economic, not political. Thank you. I have always said in this forum that the president lacks what he calls trust from Kenyans. And as a head of state, he needs to build that. It is not Kenyans to give him trust, it is him to earn it. And if people suspect him, he should ask himself why and start building on it. Because if you cannot know the importance of trust, it is your fault, because in administration you need. Then, of course, he says, taking us to first world, which country has ever given their data? And what is data? Data is different from information. Data, it is something that it is at its own natural form. I'm taking the health data. Even if you look at the data protection which has been written, look at the definition of what is data. So we cannot tell us we are raising aspersion. The thing came out clearly, they have signed to share data. It is not information. Generating trends is information. Data is original thing. So there's nothing as passions here. Data is genomic data. It is climate data. It is clinical data and gadget data. And I end by saying, on the SHA thing that he was talking about, I have chaired the Archdiocese Health Board for the last 17 years. When I raised concerns that SHA is not working, the president gave the archbishops a headache in the Catholic Church that has made me to resign to give the board work to go. Because I said very well, data, SHA is not working across our health sector network in the Catholic Church of Nairobi, 63 health facilities. We came up with a card called Carimate to replace SHA. When the president heard that, he insisted I must be fired from the board of the Archdiocese of Nairobi. And this is a fact I can show you the letter. When you say something to in Strathmore, you are fired. When you go to health board in Catholic Church, you are fired. Yet you are telling us to trust the president. So let's be honest. This is the second thing I'm being fired from just by saying the truth. So let us not say aspersion. These are not, their facts are on the table.